The mysterious cemetery, new signs and evidence of Cleopatra's final resting place. The British History website confirmed that Queen Cleopatra VII, the granddaughter of Ptolemy of Macedon, the most famous queen of antiquity in Egypt and the world, is considered the focus of the world's attention through the ages, just as the biography of Queen Cleopatra and her final resting place, which has become the focus of great interest and her lights attract historians and creators to her. In their novels, films and plays in recent years. And the British website revealed new signs and evidence about the final resting place of Cleopatra, whose story is full of drama, and that time could not erase her from memory or hide her biography, as she was described as a charmer of all time and one of the most beautiful women of all ages. And the British site continued, that Cleopatra VII was born in Alexandria, Egypt in 69 BC. She was the last pharaoh to rule the ancient Egyptian empire, which she did from 51 BC until her death in 30 BC. He added that for protocol reasons, she had to marry her brother Ptolemy XIV after the death of their father Ptolemy XII, and they ruled together for a while, but after he died, she became the only pharaoh of Egypt. Where is Cleopatra's tomb? More than a beautiful face. A British report reveals the genius of Queen Cleopatra. According to the British site, and by searching for the location of Cleopatra's tomb, it was a little more controversial, as it was initially believed by the Egyptologist and former Minister of State for Antiquities Affairs, Zahi Hawass, that it was located outside the ancient Egyptian capital, Alexandria, under the well-known temple of Osiris Magna. It is called the Tomb of Osiris the Great. And in 2019, other evidence to support Hawass' claim intensified through the discovery of mummies, statues of Isis, and coins bearing images of Cleopatra and Antony in the same area by another Egyptologist, Dr. Kathleen Martinez. However, in a perversion of the scheme, Hawass rejected his hypothesis that the tomb is buried under the tomb of Osiris. Al-Azim claims that the Egyptians used the temples for worship, not as burials. In early November 2022, Kathleen Martinez announced the existence of a 6-foot-high tunnel about 43 feet under the Great Tomb of Osiris stretching for the best part of a mile, which she hopes will be the entrance to Cleopatra's tomb. But there is also evidence that this may have been an aqueduct as its dimensions are very similar to the Eupalinos Tunnel, a 6th century BC aqueduct located in Samos, Greece. It is also worth noting that part of the temple tunnel is submerged under the Mediterranean Sea. Of course, this is not to say that it does not lead to Cleopatra's tomb. And the discovery of relevant local objects gives weight to the argument that there is the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. Dr. Martinez says that Cleopatra overcame everyone and made sure to hide her human remains, and mark Antony from the Romans and their descendants forever, and there is no doubt about the intelligence of Cleopatra, who spoke 9 languages, studied politics and mathematics, and established allies with some of the most powerful individuals in the ancient world. But she also had a clear idea of how she wanted to be seen in life as a beautiful goddess and in death as immortal, and appropriately with her remains buried and hidden forever. Queen Cleopatra, Cemetery Guides, her final resting place, the mysterious cemetery. The British magazine Ancient Origins revealed new secrets about Cleopatra, the most famous ruler of Egypt during the Ptolemaic era. The magazine said that Cleopatra VII, 69 to 30 BC, the queen of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt and its last active ruler, was famous for her Roman stories, for her love affairs with Mark Antony and Julius Caesar, and these legends were quick to portray Cleopatra as little more than a girl who forged her position in the family of men. The mighty. And she continued that unlike myths and emotional adventures, Cleopatra was a strong and brilliant ruler, but historical accounts distorted her credibility, reduced her successes and greatly exaggerated her recklessness. She added that the common view of Cleopatra presented in the ancient Roman text and spread in modern media as one of the temptresses who used her sexual talents to gain political advantage. She pointed out that what these ancient accounts did not mention is that she was, in fact, one of the greatest thinkers of her time, as she was educated by the leading scholars of the Hellenistic world and studied in the major temples in Alexandria, which now includes the famous Library of Alexandria, and there she studied geography and history, and astronomy, philosophy, international diplomacy, mathematics, chemistry, medicine, zoology, and economics. The magazine emphasized that Cleopatra was the only member of her dynasty who spoke the ancient Egyptian language and read hieroglyphs. Apart from this, she knew ancient Greek and the languages of the Parthians, Jews, Medes, Tragodia, Syrians, Ethiopians, and Arabs. And she added that it is known that Cleopatra VII spent a lot of time studying ancient laboratories, as she wrote many works related to herbs and cosmetics. She pointed out that, unfortunately, all the books he wrote were lost in a fire in 391 AD, when the Great Library of Alexandria was destroyed, and the famous Dr. Galen studied her works and was able to rewrite some of the recipes she created, and among the medicines she also created on his patients was a special cream that helps men restore their hair. She added that her influence on science and medicine was well known even during the early centuries of Christianity. In a world full of powerful people who came out to see her dead, Cleopatra was able to conquer them all.